Howdy, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time from Doctor News, news from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on a strange, weird, physical, mental, psychological, and psychic level, to the point that you might be able to predict next week's lottery numbers and probably win $10. Okay, yeah, it's been a year now, literally, officially, since the Timeless Children hit. And remember, it was yet another one of those events where everybody was running around going, Doctor Who's dead. Well, remember when they first did that? Around the time this lady here was announced as the Doctor. You even had Ian Levine out there going around saying, rest in peace, Doctor Who, 1963 to 2017. And it's like, well, here we are. It's 2021. It's still not dead. And remember, he said he wasn't going to watch the show anymore. It was dead, yada, yada. Yet he goes online and praises the episode Fugitive of the Jadoon. He loved it. And it makes you wonder just how many other of these cases, these guys out there who are, out there on YouTube, doing all these slam fests, screaming their hearts out, talking about how they love the show, but it's dead and Chibnall has to go and all that. Makes you wonder just how many of them, well, then again, it's kind of obvious they're all still watching the show. You got to love these hypocrites. They're sitting there screaming about how bad it is, yet they're watching every single episode so they can lambast it. Now, one of these individuals has recently stepped on a landmine. Not a literal landmine. We're talking a bad landmine where, oh no, their true colors shone through. There's blood in the water, and their other friends are circling like sharks. And I won't even go into detail on some of the things the rabbit from Another Habit had did. I won't even say the things that this person said. All I can say is this. Here's some more rope. Matter of fact, better yet, and here's a shovel. Keep digging. All right, but let's move on. Let's get to the stuff you want to see, the things you want to hear, and stuff like that. Let's get off all that negativity. First off, now this was over on Doctor Who TV. Now this intrigued me because has Chibnall masterfully fooled the fan base? Now, I'm just dying laughing because all these guys are walking around screaming about this episode. And it's like, guys, Doctor Who has constantly retconned itself more times than you can imagine. All right, I'm not even going to go through the list with you again because you folks who've been watching know what I'm talking about. All right, it says right here, it's been a year since Series 12 ended, and if you go right here, blah blah. All right, so what if all of it was a deliberate ploy? What if all the noise the Timeless Child revelation generated is exactly what Chibnall wanted? You may ask why he would want such a hugely polarized response. And I love this, especially when a large part of it has been negative. No, it hasn't. You've got the same talking heads, the same armchair experts out there trying to throw people into a frenzy. Folks, they're lying to their teeth. They want you to be angry. They want you to be upset because they don't want you to think. They want you to feel. And when you feel anger, you're going to turn to them like some great YouTube messiah who's going to lead you down the path of righteousness to make you feel better, make you feel included. That's all it's about. It's spin control, kids. And it says right here, the answer is simple. Publicity is still publicity, good or bad. So it's right here. So my concluding thought is, maybe fans should wait and see how this develops in Series 13. And if Chibnall somehow doesn't touch this arc again, there's nothing to stop a future showrunner from ignoring it or even retconning it themselves. And I love the fact they ended on that note because Doctor Who has done this constantly, over and over and over again. And I'm loving how I had this one guy going on again. They have disrespected Hartnell. Like somebody just took a whiz on the Book of Revelations or something like that. And it's like, it's not a religion. It's a TV show. And I can understand you're passionate about it. I'm passionate about it too. Been watching it since 83. But I don't go around telling people they've blasphemed in the House of Who because it's a TV show. All right. And also, if Chibnall's been dissing on the Hartnell by doing this, you better like rewind the clock to 1976, because Hinchcliffe and Holmes did the same thing back then. And all Chibnall did was he picked up on the idea and he ran with it. And it's not the first time this has happened. Folks, where do you think the whole concept of Captain Jack Harkness came from? If you wind the clock back to an episode called The Talons of Wang Chiang, which happened, I think, about a year later. I think it was in 77. And that was the first episode where you heard about, you had Magnus Greel, a criminal from the 51st century. And him and Lee Sen Chang are suspecting that the Doctor is a time agent. So right there, you've had a concept that was taken from a past episode and used. Oh, but okay, but that's a whole nother story. Let's keep moving forward. All right. John Bishop. I love how you've got another person. I think it was that weirdo from Another Heardo was saying that John Bishop took the work because he couldn't get anything else. Have you looked at John Bishop's resume? Are you on dope? Dude, can I buy some pot off you? Okay, but all right. On an evening with John Bishop, a Zoom meeting hosted by the Always Be Comedy on February 18th, John Bishop said Chris Chibnall asked him if he would be interested in a role on Doctor Who in late 2019, but he had to turn it down due to other commitments. He said, quote, "So the reason it came about is that Chris Chibnall, who runs Doctor Who, met me. God even remembers when that was. It was when you could meet people. It was before last Christmas, not last Christmas, the year before that, 2019. He had this idea in his character, and he'd seen me in a few things, and I'm flattered that he said so, and he wants to know if I'd be interested. The problem was I was meant to be on tour, and they were meant to be filming earlier in the year around March, April time, and I was meant to be on tour throughout big parts of it, so I fancied it. I had to say no." So he was offered this part back then, but as he said, he had to turn it down due to other commitments that he had already signed up for. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of character John Bishop's, going to be playing here. Hear more about him, get to know him, and see how he slides into this whole thing. So if you want to read that, there you go. Remember, all links will be below in the description box as usual. Now, Jodie Whittaker reads bedtime stories for Watford children. I watch this. I got to laugh out of it. So there you go. If you want to see the story she's reading and all that. Now, she joined the Wonderworks nursery and leaves the Warner Brothers studios to read My Big Shouty Day by Rebecca Patterson. This nursery was set up as a first in the UK to provide flexible childcare led by Warner Media staff for cast and film crews in the filming industry during the tiring production hours. So it's nice to see, she did this for the kids and all that. And like I said, it's just a hilarious watch. But remember, it's for children, okay? The American Blu-ray set for for this, this is what ticks me off. It's Doctor Who season 8. It's not Pertwee complete season 2. That's one thing I'm sick of in these things. Why are we having two different? Because are we Americans so damn stupid we can't count to 8? But all right, but I'm just happy because this is the American version of the Blu-ray for Pertwee season 8. It's up for pre-order right now on Amazon. Oh, look at that price, man. But it's going to be worth it because, all right, now this will be out, according to them, on June 1st, 2021. So keep your eyeballs out for that. Okay, Series 13 for the Masters for New Villains. And there's my favorite word, superfans. Now, I hate it when fans are denoted by like the number of YouTube subscribers they have, how much money they have. And like I said, I got nothing against the young lady who's done this last part, but she's the Guinness World Record holder for the largest collection of Doctor Who memorabilia. She's like, 10 years old? So the stuff, her parents, her got a lot of stuff. So now they're super fans. And like I said, it's the title super fan that really disturbs me. I don't think any fan is better than any other fan. Whether you've been watching the show for 50 years or for 5 minutes, you're still a Whovian, for crying out loud. That's something, to be proud of. So I'll let you read this if you want. That's up to you. It's over on the Metro. All right. So folks, once again, I hate the term super fan. To me, that denotes that somehow you're better than everybody else because it's like it's a stupid status symbol. And it's like, I've seen this, throughout fandom, that there's people out there who seem to think that they're now the spokesperson for the brand and all that because they have so many YouTube subscribers, or I've got more what you call it's routons in my shed than in all the rest of you. Watch out, they're not routons. Or and things like that. It's just fans are fans, and you're a Whovian, you're a Whovian. And sadly, there's some folks out there who are using this love for the show to fill their pockets. And they're doing this by enraging fans over silly things like plot devices or the fact that the Doctor's now female. They've been going on that for about 4 years. By the way, the show was supposed to have died in 2017 when they announced Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. Here we are 4 years later. The ratings are still, pretty much consistent. And yet they're going to tell you these great stories about how there was a plummet. The ratings have fallen through the floor. Yet meanwhile, look at the ratings for the New Year's Day special. Really? Like I said, I know TV execs who would sell their own begotten son to Satan for a 21% viewing share of the audience. But they also overlook the fact that the BBC is pretty much in a world market now, competing with streaming services and all that, and ratings on all their programs are down across the board. Yet they won't tell you that, will they? No, because it doesn't suit their narrative. They won't tell you that Doctor Who was probably, I think it was like the 12th or 12th most streamed thing, or it's 13th most streamed program of last year. No, it was 13 million something views. I think it was the 12th most streamed program, something like that. But still, you see, it was in the top 15 for all of last year for the UK. Oh, better yet, here's the other thing they'll tell you. The British fans have all turned their back on it in disgust. Yet, if you read one part of John Bishop's other article there a little while back, fans were showing up to the one filming location. Some were even cosplaying as Daleks. All because they just totally hated. Fans wouldn't be showing up on filming locations to get autographs, see the stars and all that if they were disgusted by a show. See, it doesn't suit the narrative. Don't buy or don't listen to everything people say on Twitter, social media in general. Just do your own thinking. Groupthink is the worst thing on the planet. And you may not have heard that term before. This is a thing I read way back in the day when I was in like middle school or early high school. And sadly, groupthink seems to have come into being. Look up the term. I'm not kidding. Been around for years. Have a good night, folks. Please take care of yourselves. COVID's still out there. Wash your hands, wear your mask, observe social distancing, and please remember, vaccines are coming out, but they're not out generally, across the planet yet. They're having to go because it's a whole long story, but so just be careful out there. Okay. Good night.